In the previous episodes of this 1988 Mercury Cougar revival, you discovered the details of the purchase, you watched me clean and fast forward, and you saw me make some electrical repairs and start the engine on starting fluid. If you missed any of that, I encourage you to click the playlist link in the description below. In this episode, I will tackle the horrible gas tank, likely the worst you have ever seen. Hello friends, I want to get this engine running on its own rather than just on starting fluid, which means we need to clean the fuel system, including the gas tank. The gas gauge indicates this 22-gallon tank has 15 gallons of fuel in it, but I was hopeful that there was much less than that. There was so much crust inside the filler neck, I couldn't get an inspection camera or a siphon tube down it. So it looks like I might have to drop the tank with 15 gallons inside. Gasoline is about 6 pounds per gallon, so that's 90 pounds, plus the weight of the tank. I estimate the tank might weigh as much as 150 pounds, or 68 kilograms. And that sounds fun.
Thank you, Dr. Stupid.
Every time I go out into the garage, you make lots of noise. You meow, you want to come out there. I'm going to put the harness on you, but I need to keep you out of the grass because you will just eat grass until you can't eat it anymore, and then you throw up all over the house. So, yeah. Alright, so I got it all jacked up and safe. And I tried to put an inspection camera down the filler neck, and it just got clogged up with dirt because it was, scraping on the side, so there's something going on there. Who knows what the rest of the tank looks like. The filler neck would need to be fixed. Anyway, I'm going to drop the tank now. Oh my god, I think this tank is full. Oh yeah, it's heavy. Oh yeah, Jesus. This seems a little sketchy on the left side of the screen, but the tank won't drop on that side until I remove the filler neck. What it is the gasket. The gasket that is holding the filler neck on is holding the tank up right now on that side. Once I free the filler neck from the tank can shift this way and easily clear the exhaust pipe. And the tank is very full. You can hear it sloshing around. I'm not sure why I couldn't get the siphon tube down there, but I think I'm pretty well set up right now. Once I free the filler neck, I might be able to rotate the tank a bit or whatever, get a hose in there through that hole and then start siphoning it out. The reason the filler neck does not want to come out is because it's very crusty with decomposed gasoline, as you might be able to see here. Time to switch gears and disconnect all the wiring and fuel lines. Maybe I can siphon with the tank in this position. It's just a little scary to yank on the tank right now. Yummy. Oh man, that wasn't easy. And getting the remainder of the gas out isn't easy either. I did have a good system going, getting most of the gallons out of it. Yes, it was about 2/3 to 3/4 of the tank full. 10 to 12 gallons I got out of it, and it was light enough for me to get it out. I had a little bit of trouble getting the fuel fittings off of there. Obviously, you're going to use one of those tools, those little tools, for disconnecting the fuel lines. But this one that I went into, so this is Power Built. What is that? AutoZone many years ago. I had this group of tools and I was working on my dad's Ford Explorer trying to replace the fuel pump, and the frickin' tools wouldn't fit in there. That's it. That's worked on all my Fords ever since. The inside of the tank does not look good, but I don't think it's rust. I think it's the varnished gas. You know, I should be able to put acid in it. I've never tried this before. Put acid in it and agitate it. I just have to figure out a good way of agitating it. Once I get the pump out, I can probably stick the camera in part way and you can see how bad it is. Oh my God. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. How does that look, huh? Does that look nice? After getting as much of the gas as I could out of it and letting it sit overnight and shaking it over the sink, yeah, I got a lot more crap on it. So, and some of it's pretty dry, like it's a lighter brown, indicating it's kind of dry. So I guess what I could do now is use the shop vac. This baffling here is, well, it's baffling. I'm sure it helps with cornering and whatnot, but it's super in the way right now for me. I'd really like to remove it, and I think I can get it out of there in pieces. So you know there's got to be crap sandwiched between the bottom of the tank and this plastic thing. So I don't see how I can clean this properly without removing that first. Okay, with these tools, I got all that crap out of there. And now we've got an empty tank that we can attempt to clean out. Look here. All right, so I guess we're going to try to give it a pressure wash now. So we have what I believe to be not a rusted tank. It just has, of course you can see it's rusted around here, but I think, and it's a little pitted, but the gasket is still in here. Actually it's sitting right here, so as long as I can smooth that out. So we are going to try to pour 2 gallons of vinegar distilled white vinegar in here. Some people use muriatic acid, which is stronger and works faster, but I have the time to let the vinegar sit for days. I did spice it up a little with about 2 cups of CLR. We've got, like a 1/2 inch of the bottom of the tank. The tank is not, the top and the bottom aren't parallel, so there's a wedge shape, and we're leaning the tank down a little bit. So we're covering a vast majority of the bottom with about a 1/2 inch to, there's ribs on it too, so 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. A couple of days. Let's check that out. Got some interesting colors to it. I guess I can use a wire brush on it. So, yeah, I don't know if this is rust either. I mean, it looks like colored rust, but rust doesn't do that. It's not, it doesn't distinguish. It just gets on everything. And I don't think rust would occur when there's gas, even old varnish gas is there, Gas will still, if anything, the top of the tank, the top of the inside. While you watch me clean the filler neck and fuel pump, let me remind you that this is a revival. I would buy a new tank and a new fuel pump assembly if it was a restoration. The idea is to get things clean enough to allow the engine to run. Okay, so the sending unit, I have a new fuel pump coming. This is pretty much as close as I'm going to get. Do a little bit more work on it. I've been picking at it or whatever, but as long as pieces of crap don't fall off of it or get soaked up in the gasoline. But anyway, so this is the feed line, and it's pretty short, and then this is the return line, the longer one. And I was able to, poke and prod, because we only have one right angle on the feed line down here. I was able to poke and prod and clean that one out pretty well. This one, however, it doesn't matter what I use to poke through here. Going 2 angles, either these 2 angles here to get over to here, or these 2 angles here to get over to here, I can't access this portion of it. So I think what I'm going to do, if I just eliminate one of the angles, again, this is the return line, and it doesn't go to the very bottom of the tank. So if I'm thinking that I'll just chop off this last corner, and then that'll allow me to get something down here and hopefully around here and clean out the rest of it. If not, I guess I'm looking at cutting off maybe to here, but I'm going to try the minimal cut here and see. The fuel level sensor is here. I believe this was working because the digital dash said that it had the half a tank or whatever. So I cleaned this up. I'm going to stick it back in. I don't really care if it works, frankly. Okay, I'm going to try, we're going to throw this in to the tank. And I don't know, yeah, I guess I'll just throw it all in there. What the hell? And then I'm going to figure out a way to possibly suspend this tank up. Hopefully to be able to suspend this tank up so I can very easily just shake it. Okay. So hopefully hold. Okay. Okay, the key to my system is the straps are looped over and down. That means I can rotate this whole thing and work on different areas. If I want to get the back area, I just go like this. So now that I was making real progress, I soaked the tank this way for 2 days, occasionally agitating it. Then I put the fuel pump assembly and the level sender back in, plugged the filler neck hole and the evap hole, and mounted the tank upside down to give the top of the tank the same treatment. Then I pressure washed the tank again, this time using some angled attachments. I put a link in the description for the pressure washer and the attachments from Amazon. Here's a shot of some of the solid material that came out. After 5 arduous days of soaking, shaking, and pressure washing, the tank was not perfect, but a lot better than it was. I just needed to dry it out with a hairdryer for about an hour, vacuum it out once more, and here is the result. Obviously, given enough time and effort, this tank can become pretty spotless. But I figure this is good enough for this revival. At least I hope so. All right, removed the air box again. Vacuumed a bit more crap out of here. So now we're going to attempt to remove the, oh boy, the fuel line fittings here. Come on. Ah, there we go. It has these clips to hold it. So next I removed the lines from the fuel rail. The smaller line, which required the smaller red release tool, is the return line, which goes directly to the pressure regulator. The larger line below is the feed line, requiring the blue tool. I always have trouble with these, and on a 36-year-old car it was extra challenging. I will describe the technique I used here. All I really needed to do was wiggle it back and forth. Grab this with one hand, grab this part with another, and just wiggle it back and forth. I was always just pulling it, but pushing it this way while putting tension on this release tool. That was the key, because I yanked on it like you wouldn't believe, and it wasn't doing anything. And lo and behold, I decided to try something new, modify my technique. So now that all the lines and the filter are all disconnected, I can run fluid through here. I'm not sure what I have. I got some brake clean. I guess I could just throw through there. Gasoline, any kind of solvent, just to flush the line. There is a fitting right here, Schrader valve, and I have a fuel pressure gauge that I'm going to hook right up to that when I go to start the engine, just to see if the fuel pressure regulator is working. Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to go flush these now. Okay. Gotta open it. That would help. I got buckets under the appropriate places. It's interesting. We're gonna have to put some pressure. So we think this is the return line, and so is it possible? No, it's not possible that the return line is higher than this. Oops. So I don't know why this wouldn't drain. I don't know. The return line might be clogged. You know? Might be clogged. I guess we're gonna push some air through it. It might just be clogged. Oh yeah, there we go. I guess I can do this. Okay. Okay, here we go. So it's looking relatively clean. And I like the sound of that. And I like the color of that. Now I'm going to have to do something else about the high pressure, the pressure line. I'm going to need to couple this somehow. Got a piece of heater hose here. I think that might do it. Let's give it a few more cranks. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. All right, so we should see that come out right there. This is where the fuel filter is located, which I had removed at this point. Ooh, nasty. Fuel should flow in the opposite direction, you know, backwards in a fuel filter, right? So I could clean the rest of the line from here back if I just put a fuel filter in place and continue to push it that way. I might have to use a little bit of air. There we go. Yeah. Don't try this at home, kids. Not easy to do it that way, so just pop it on here. No clamps. We're gonna feed it more gas. I hope we get come out of the back into the car. It's got a lot of ups and downs to overcome, so it's probably going to need, let's just give it a little poke, shall we? There we go. It's going to fuel all over me. Lean me. So I'm going to undo this, and it's going to cause more gas to blow out. The line and everything else, so that's good. And just let these things do their thing. So the tank is clean and the lines are clear, and the fuel pump just arrived in the mail. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video where I try to get this car to run on its own. Thanks for watching, friends.